Alright, for this video, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to mainly cover the 12-bar dominant 7 blues form. Alright? Okay. Let's talk about the blues scale, because this has got to be one of the most interesting scales that's ever been devised. So what is a blues scale? So before I get into answering that question, someone asked me a really important question, and he was asking me, hey, if you have a major scale, you have a major chord. You have a minor scale, you got a minor chord, a diminished scale, you have a diminished chord. But if you have a blues scale, do you have a blues chord that is associated with it? And I thought to myself, wow, what a really good question. I never really thought about it like that. And initially I thought to myself, well, no, because the blues scale fits over so many different things, it doesn't really have its own chord association. But it really bothered me. So I took the time, I really thought about it. And you know what? I realized something. It actually does. It doesn't have its own name designation, but the blues scale most definitely has a very specific chord that is associated with it. And I'm going to show you what this is, and I'm going to show you how it works. So take a look at this. As you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, I have this scale written out in the key of C. So we have our C, E flat, F, F sharp, G, B flat, and C. And if I go through each one of those notes, you see I have the 1, flat 3rd, 4th, sharp 4, 5, flat 7, and 1. Now, there's something a little funny about the way that this scale is written. And let's go over that. Remember, we are thinking about this in relationship to a dominant 7 chord. A dominant 7 chord would have an E natural. How come we don't have an E natural in this scale? Okay, let me reanalyze how I notate what these notes are in this scale. So let's take a look here. And instead of the E flat being the minor 3rd, I'm calling that the sharp 9. Now the sharp 4, that F sharp, that is a chromatic passing tone. So in terms of analyzing it from a chord, we can leave that one out. So now we have a 1, 4, 5, flat 7, because now we've moved the sharp 9 up to the top. And a chord that does not have a 3rd in it is either no chord or it's some type of suspension. Let's take a look at it from this way. Now we have C, F, G, B flat. That is a C7 sus. But in its bare, most raw form, all it is a C, F, G. That's it. It is a sus chord, but it's a sus chord with certain kinds of alterations. Every sus chord wants to resolve in some kind of way. So in its triadic form, that CFG just wants to resolve to a C, E, G. In this case, because we're talking about blues as a dominant 7. So if you have a C7 sus, that wants to resolve to a C7. So let's take a listen to the sus with various extensions resolving to the dominant 7 chord. All right, take a listen. For this first playing example, I want to show you guys the effectiveness of using this type of pentatonic scale, which is basically a dominant 7 arpeggio, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, but we're going to add the 6th degree. I call this like a boogie woogie bass line. Now I want to show you one of the easiest ways of navigating your way around a blues, and it's going to take advantage of that suspension resolving effect, because anytime we get to the 1 chord, we're going to treat that like it's a resolution. So that's when we're going to use that dominant 7 pentatonic thing. All the other stuff, we're just going to play a blues scale. So that way it always sounds like this sus thing, this suspension is resolving. All right, take a listen to this. This blues that I've shown you is the most bare, basic, simplest way of having a blues. And it ain't nothing but 3 chords. The 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. They are all dominant 7 chords. Now, here's where things can get a little funny. If we're reading a piece of music and we see no sharps and no flats in the key signature, we assume it's either in C major or it's in A minor. Now, we could just as easily think, hey, maybe it's in G7, but we don't. When it comes to this dominant 7 thing, we usually notate the key signature the way it is in major and then just mark all the accidentals in. Which brings me to this point. So much of the way modern music is notated really leaves out a whole lot. And the biggest thing that's left out are key changes. We just don't notate all these key changes because it will make the music look ridiculous. Now, this blues, when we go from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, there is actually a key change there. But we don't go around marking it in the key signature because it would look ridiculous. All right, when we go from the 4 chord to the 5 chord, when we go from the 5 chord to the 4, whenever we switch chords, we're actually modulating. We don't really think about it like this, but you need to know what notes to play on what chord. Now for this, I've just generalized it and summed it all up, but you're gonna want to get better at doing this. So let's take a look at it from this point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for this next playing example I want to show you, I'm just gonna walk my way through the progression using mostly dominant 7 arpeggios, but I'm gonna make it pentatonic. I'm gonna go back and forth with adding in that 6th degree so you can hear how this flows. You want to walk yourself through just 1, 4, 5. That's it. Make it easy. Start out simple to make sure that you can follow along. And then if you get lost, go back into that blues thing and then just wait for it to come back around. You can catch your footing. You want to do that until it becomes very, very natural where you are. All right, so the first part, I'm going to be very mechanical. Then the second part of it, I'm going to mix it up a little bit and make it sound a little more bluesy. All right, check this out. All right, for this final part, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to show you these 2 melodic lines that pretty much just say it all in the blues. And you find these either near the end of a solo or you find it near the end of the song itself. It's just, you have to know this. Just like you got to know the Count Basie turnaround or that Duke Ellington ending thing. You got to know that. All right. So let me play those two with slight little versions of each other. All right. Check this out. That's all I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. So the main thing I want you guys to take away is that the blues scale really functions like a suspension that just resolves. So just start out playing that blues and resolve it into that pentatonic dominant 7th thing. And I'm telling you right now, like, you pretty much can't go wrong. You can't really go wrong with the blues scale anyway, but adding that little subtlety of that resolution just makes it all sound like you know what you're doing until you get bored with it, and then you can add in more information. But it's so important to not get bombarded with too much information all at once. So if you guys like stuff like this, hit me up in the comment section and I'll do more stuff like this, obviously. So I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers, so hit me up on Instagram. I just got that account. Share these videos. All right, so thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. See ya.